तीनों लोकों में फैला हुआ है। जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। प्रेम धन करुणा प्रचुर हे ना प्रभु को था गिला आचार्य ठाकुर कहाँ मोरा स्वरूप रूप कहाँ सनातन कहाँ दास रघुनाथ पतित पावन कहाँ मोरा भट्ट जुग कहाँ कबीराज एक काल को था गिला गुरा नटराज पाषाण कोटि बो माथा अनाले पसीबो गौरांगा गुणेरा निधि को था गिले पाबो से साहब संगीरा संगे जी कैलो बिलास से संग न पाया कांदे नरोत्तम दास जय वैष्णव ठाकुर वैष्णव ठाकुर वैष्णव ठाकुर जय वैष्णव ठाकुर निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल श्री जगन्नाथ दास बाबा जी तिरुभाव तिथि महामहोत्सव की, श्री रसिकानंद प्रभु तिरुभाव तिथि महामहोत्सव की, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की. So you read the translation of this.
Srinivasacharya Thakur gave Krishna Prema, pure love to everyone. Oh, where has Prabhu gone now? Where are my Sarup Damodar and Sri Rupa Goswami? Where is Sanatan? Where is Das Raghunath, the lifter of the fallen? Where are my Raghunath Bhatta and Gopal Bhatta? And where is Krishnadas Kaviraj? Where did Gauranga Mahaprabhu, the king of dancers, suddenly go? I will crush my head with a rock and jump into a fire. Where will I find Lord Gauranga, the ocean of jewel-like qualities? Being separated from their loving association and the blissful pastimes of Mahaprabhu, Narottam Das can only cry. Shri Raghunath Das Goswami ki jai, Shri Jagannatha Das ki jai, and Shri Rasanakananda ki jai. Jai ho. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Janandana Shalakaya Chakshuram Maritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svapadantikam Vanchakalpatrubhyascha Kripasundu Bihevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavevi Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Makam Karoti Vatalam Pangum Langaite Girimekripatamaham Bande Shri Gumdinataranam Shri Paramadamadavam Shri Chaitanya Yeshwaram Namo. These days of the disappearance or appearance of the Acharyas are very special days for the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. You see, the Lord has sent His pure devotees to this world to give us access of how we can serve the Lord. Evam param parapraptam. The Lord sends so many exalted personalities in a parampara, which we can access. If you travel around the world, there's so many rules and regulations in travel. If you're on a train or if you're on a plane, you have to buy some ticket. You have to check your luggage in. There's rules and regulations, not too many kilos, not over 20. International travel, not over 30. There's rules and regulations. And there's a parampara. There's a ticket taker. And you follow the rules and regulations, then you can go on your journey to this location or that location. So similarly, sadhanakara, bhajanakara, murti janli hoy. The process of devotion given to us by the acharyas is teaching us how to follow a bhajan, how to follow rules and regulations that will be ultimately tested at the time of death. Like today I was relishing watching, I like to call them the madhu, the little like bumblebees, jumping up and down in front of the Thakurji, so much enthusiasm. And I was noting the older brahmacharis now in Mayapur. And I was thinking how these boys will take on the responsibility of distribution, book distribution, whatever, managerial duties. And there's a parampara. So today, Jagannatha Das Babaji, Tirabhav, that we are following in the wake of what an acharya, someone who was so fixed in service to the Lord. And he was very pagal. Srila Prabhupada taught us a discipline in the communication field or the preaching field. Prabhupada taught this important formula: be mad within, but make sense without. So as we glorify Jagannatha Das Babaji, think always about the devotees around you in terms of their service, and think how they may be mad within, but they make sense without. Because we do not want to have persons to misunderstand. We are like ambassadors in parampara. And Srila Prabhupada gave the example in a bank. The cashier will count money honestly, carefully, on behalf of the bank. And in that way there is what's called transparency. What is the word in Hindi? Transparency? Okay. Pardasita. There is a transparency. The Jagannatha Das Babaji, he was such an amazing person. As you know, he lived to the age of 144 years. Now, how many of you are at the age of 20 here? 20? Anybody who's 20? 16? 15? 12? Anybody? Older than 20? 21? Yes, 21. You're more than 20? Okay, general. Some of you maybe 20, a little more 20, but you multiply your age 7 times. And then you get the lifespan of Jagannatha Das Babaji, who was such a rasic character. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur would acknowledge how in Navadvip Dham, he spent 6 months in Navadvip Dham, and then he'd spend 6 months in Braj, and then some time in Puri. But Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur said that he was the most rasika acharya in all the dhams combined. So he had a mission, and always to remember Krishna and never forget him. Then we see, by his example, he would perform so much different tapasya. In Vrindavan, he would spend time at Surya Kund, performing great austerities. Chaturmas, the 4 months of the year, devotees refrain from various edibles in service to the Lord. You see, it's interesting. Sometimes we see in spiritual circles where one performs tapasya, one performs austerities. What happens is, when it's done with the wrong consciousness, the heart becomes hard. Tapasvi, hambramasmine, doasosmi. But you perform tapasya. Ishvaramaham bogi, siranam balavan sukhi. You get passionate. You think others become your enemy. Like Indra became very jealous that anyone could take over his position. He became jealous of Narada. So much envy is there, even on the higher planes. But real tapasya softens the heart. So Jagannatha Das Babaji, he was a perfection of performing greatest tapasya, but very soft heart. So during Chaturmas, the first 4 months, every day, evening time, he'd only take 4 kela, just 4 bananas like that. Boss. Then, that was the first month. Then the second month, he would take guava. Guava, huh? Every night, day before I did the, not sure. But he would take this guava. Then the next month, simply take whey. You're making curds. You separate the curds and whey. This is very nutritional, but very minimal. Then the final 4th month, he would take simply boiled flowers from banana flowers. He would take that and just boil, but no salt. Namakone. Saranagati. He's a surrender. It's happiness. So always be mindful by his example. You do perform tapasya, you're doing Nirjala Ekadasi, you're fasting, all these things is very good. But be very careful you're doing it with the right motivation. Not that I have to prove how strong I am. Like one day, I know in Mayapur, one devotee I knew, a very good friend, God brother who was doing Nirjal Ekadasi. Every Nirjal, every Ekadasi. So much. But because he did it to show others about Bala Brahmachari, Bala. I know in, there's one, Buddy Ryan tells this about when he was in Buffalo, New York, temple president. And there was one Balu Brahmachari, heavy Shakti. Only chickpeas. 9 chickpeas. 2 chapatis every day. Coke Balu Brahmachari. Tapasya. But they would go in Harinam, yes? Harinam, Yugadharm, Harinam. And in Harinam, Para Upakar, you distribute Mahaprasad. And they at this temple would make nice big ladus. You know ladu? Oh, Brahmachari liking so much, giving up so much material sense gratification and living in ashram and living on the same floor with many devotees. Of course, you have beds now. When I was Brahmachari, we had 21 brahmacharis in one room. And the room was like maybe the size of this rug. Yeah, the size of the rug. And one brahmachari turns and sleep, and all the other brahmacharis have to turn. Yes. Boom. Like domino, domino? Like that. And not less than 15 alarm clocks. I know here, one devotee gets up, they all get up. Yes, correct? Yes. One devotee wakes up and all wake up. Huh? All those days we had alarm clocks. One for 2:30, one for 2:35, one for 3:30, one for 3:35, and then I remember, but I was getting up very early. No problem. I see. No problem. Anyways, this Coke Balu Brahmachari. Tapasya. So I will do para upakar. I will give mercy to others. So he took a whole tray of ladus. And then during the kirtan, he would go behind, distribute in some small area like lane. You have lanes like in New Delhi, And Buddy Narayan was wondering, where is he going with the whole tray of ladu? He followed the brahmachari. He was distributing here and there. Then, turned the corner. And then, one ladu after the next, Maybe 15 ladus. Can you imagine? 15 ladus. 15, hungry. Poor brahmachari. But Coke Balu. And then he would come out. This is called Bogatiag. Bogatiag, false renunciation. So I'm saying this because we're reading about one Acharya who performed the topmost renunciation. But because he did it for the pleasure of the Lord, his heart was very soft. So interesting to know, he would chant this mantra. Nitai ki nama enechire, ki nama enechire, ki nama detechire. Which was glorification of Lord Nityananda. Oh, Lord Nityananda, you are so wonderful. And you have manifested with such a wonderful name. You see, he was in full contact with Nitai, 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 because it is through the mercy of Nityananda you gain access to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which gives you access to understanding Radha Krishna and all the incarnations of the Lord, and the Yuga Avatar. He would chant this mantra over and over, and daily. Every day you pay dandavats, correct? I mean, you figure you come in the temple to Prabhupada and deities, that's 4, and to the sannyasi, 5, exalted 6. Oh, of course, special day, Jagannatha Babaji, 7, just coming in the morning program. And then at night, I'm sure, Jagannatha Babaji would do 1,108 dandavati to Thakurji every single day. That's keep you in good shape, very good shape. So in this way, we see his dedication. And he was amazed because I was mentioning he was like performing such tapasya, eating so little. But one time, he begged a roti from a street sweeper in Vrindavan. Everyone was thinking, you're begging roti. Consider it like they consider like Bangi. This is a cleaner. You are taking roti. Because in terms of Vedic discipline, you must take prasadam according to persons of high consciousness.
Hare Krishna. Sorry. So, on behalf of the temple devotees, we like to welcome His Grace Panchagoda Prabhu, the President of ISKCON Vrindavan. Haribo.
Jai Ho, Pancha! Haribo, Jai Ho. Wow, wow. I remember my first prikrama of Giriraj, one of my first Giriraji prikramas, we call it it was a motorized prikrama by the mercy. Yeah. So in this way, he begged roti, sleeper, and all the pundits criticized him. What is this? You're taking the food from someone of a lower caste. And he goes, I thought you were all erudite people, huh? You're intelligent. You're intelligent persons, but don't you see? This street sweeper is in the dust of Braj. And within the little dust of Braj, there's unlimited amounts of Krishna prema. This person has Krishna prema within and without every day. He is dusting. He is dusting. And within and without, he is a personification of Krishna prema. So, one spark of dust is filled with prema. And you criticize me for taking remnants cooked by him? Then all these intellectuals said, Acha. Correct. They were all quiet. This is the beauty. When there's no questions, when there's quiet, either you have to be in full agreement. When there is no questions, there's no rebuttal, then you have to be in full agreement. So in this way, he showed them very clearly what is the proper focus. Now, Jagannatha Das Babaji, because he was a true most Brajvasi, and he had his servant, Bihari, was his servant. And one time, because you're in Braj, doesn't matter whether it's 2 legs, 4 legs, what have you, they're all different types of Brajvasis. Janma. According to Shastra, there are 4 types of Brajvasis. Those who have Janma, those who actually have visit on a long period of time, and those who visit infrequently. And there are those Brajvasis who never physically go to Braj, but they're always thinking of Braj. So according to Shastra, 4 types of Brajvasis. Anyways, Jagannatha Babaji, he had a very nice affinity, love for the kuta, small, the little dogs, or little puppies. Even I remember, because at Radhakund there was one sadhu at the Sangam who left his body about 3 years ago, and he would always feed the puppies of Braj. And he would always look for the puppies. Many other Brajvasis would take some stone. He loved them. Because he saw Bhagavad, he saw the Supreme. These personalities are so dear to the Lord. So Bihari, once many little puppies came, they started to take from Babaji's plate. And Bihari, Jao, go, and he pushed them away. Bhakt, how can you do this? They're Brajvasis. They're my friends. I will not take another mouthful until you go find them, feed them. I remember we have to, especially when we visit Braj, we be very, very careful. Or serving any devotee, we're always careful. I remember I was walking to Loy Bazaar once, and I was going to give class the next day in Krishna Balaram Mandir. Krishna Balaram Mandir ki! Radha Shama Sundar ki! And you were TP at the time too. And I had some work to do. I was doing some photographic work, and I had to do a book binding. So I'm walking on the road near Loy Bazaar, and these little boys were playing this game. There may be some name for it. It's similar to cricket, where they have a little stick, and they throw like I guess it was like a small stick, and you hit it. Some Brijvasi game like that. And I was thinking, I'm a sannyasi. I have only so much time to do, and I must go. And these boys, they came up to me, and they wanted, because the Brijvasis are so intimate, they simply see that you've come to Braj, and Radharani has allowed you to come here, so you're our friend. I mean, there's different types of relations, of course. But they gave me this stick to hit, like the cricket. And I was thinking, I'm a sannyasi. Why should I do these things? Why should I? And one boy began to hold my arm. And what I did, because I have to go, I have to do my work, I pulled my arm away from him and gave him the stick back. I mean, there wasn't a loving exchange. I didn't think anything of it. I'm sannyasi. I'm Jai, Shishi, Radha Parthasarthi ki Jai, Shishi Gauri ki Jai, and Shishi Ram Lakshman Hanuman ki Jai. I thought I didn't, there was no big deal. I wasn't wasting my time. But I had a dream. Actually when you have swapna right before you wake up, that is considered authentic. That means there's some power there. So I found myself in a cave. And I was looking at the side of this big rocky wall, and all of a sudden the wall turned into a sphinx. You know what a sphinx is? It's like a Bakasur sphinx. Bakasur with a big beak, and grabbed me, my whole body. And then as soon as he grabbed me, that turned into that Brijvasi boy who would approach me the other day. Realized, and I woke up. I told this in class too. People liked it. And then I realized that I had made an offense to a devotee of the Lord, someone who's very dear, a dear Brijvasi. Who's to say who these personalities are? Externally, activities, maybe not in terms of what we follow, but Prabhupada said, you know, if you're in Braj, be careful. Spend 3 days there, but same purport, if you have some service, then you spend time. So anyways, I had to go to town the next day and then to meet the boy, and I saw the same boys again playing. So then, an older boy who I saw in the dream looked at me, and I go, oh, okay. I took the stick, and okay, let's go. I did not want to make an offense. So in this way, Jagannatha Das Babaji, he performed austerity, but he had a focus on how to actually how to serve others. So he asked Bihari, you find all the puppies, you make sure they come back. Now, because he's a Rasikacharya, many people are giving him different types of, donations. In those days, 1 rupee, so much. Nowadays, rupee, nothing. Nothing. But so much. So people would give, and his servant Bihari would keep it in a cloth bag. And so then what he did, he took 12 rupees out. Bihari took 12 rupees out. Careful. No brahmacharis in the hundi. Careful. Everything goes to Thakurji. But his bhav was, I want to do some seva to Guru Maharaj. So it was okay. He was using that for Guru Seva. And the bag had like around 200 rupees in it. Now Jagannatha Das Babaji at that time was blind. You see, at the age of 142, or no, actually 124, his lids were so heavy that they were over his eyes, and he had to be carried in a basket wherever he went. And his brahmachari, the shishya, would have to open his eyes so he could see the manjaris and offer them to his Thakurji. So in that way, he was got such help, but he was blind at that age. He was 142, and he said, "But Bihari, Baba, there's 12 rupees missing from this bag." Now he's blind. Who knows everything? Krishna wants him to know. Not know small things like you have problems with your foot. Krishna does not bother. But Krishna gives the intelligence to Guru to give you everything you need. Go back to Godhead. So anyways, in this case, Bihari was found caught red-handed. This 12 rupees, you return. So then he smiled, Bihari. He gave back to Guru Maharaj. But in this way, pure devotee gets mystic power in service. So that he was quite exemplified this mood. Because of his tapasya, because of his love, he was actually given such an empowered connection. And now because he was the most Rasikacharya, it was Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur to discover the birthplace of Lord Chaitanya. Now, as I was saying earlier, he's very old and he's in a basket and had to be carried wherever he goes. So when, by looking at different maps, Bhaktivinoda Thakur was able to locate the birthplace of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki! He took Jagannatha Pandit, Jagannatha Das Babaji, to give a confirmation. Now at that time, there were so many tulsi plants growing in that area and different voices at night and kirtan like that. So when Jagannatha Pandit was brought to the location, and his body is completely 100% spiritual, and when he got darshan of Yoga Pit, he jumped out of his basket and began to dance at the age of 142. Could not walk. But when he experienced the birthplace of Lord Chaitanya, complete ecstasy, jumping around. Actually, I forgot one special pastimes. I don't know if you know this one. Very special. Because you see, he loved deity worship so much. This is when he was in Navadvip. But one time, his Thakurji came to him in Swapna and said, "Hey Baba, I want special diet. I would like to have some fish." You notice there's an intimate relation between Guru and Thakurji. The Srila Bhaktisiddhanta would actually speak to Radha Gandharvaka Giridhari. He could speak. He would run the preaching. They'd go to behind closed curtains and speak. He'd speak to deity. There would be conversation like this. So when a devotee, and like Sakshi Gopal, the Brahmin, Thakurji had to come bear witness. So the Brahmin said, "Look, Thakurji, you're talking to me. If you can talk, you can walk." So that was special. And I often reflect, because I'm in different temples, you see Thakurji, do you really think Radha Parthasar or Dharam, Gonitai are stuck on the altar? They can't move? Well, for those who have the adhikar, they can speak to certain individuals. And they can also walk. So they have a big park right behind the temple. That's why I tell every temple I go to, don't think Thakurji's locked on the altar. They can move around. One man came to Vrindavan, and the doors between Krishna and Balaram were closed. And he was meditating and laughing and giggling. And the devotees asked him, what are you laughing at? And he's going, "Oh, Krishna and Balaram, they're having pastimes." What are you thinking? Pastimes, but they're on the altar. Huh? That's what they do all day long. They asked Prabhupada. So, this man was laughing and giggling. He said, "Krishna Balaram, they're having pastimes." And Prabhupada says, "Of course. Of course they're having pastimes." The devotees going, "Wow." We begin to think in terms of Archa Vigraha, that coming, in a limited way. So, in this way, Jagannatha Das Babaji, he was in a situation where his Thakurji is asking him for fish. He goes, "Hey, Baba, Thakurji, pagal, full crack, pagal, full crack, full crack, full crack." You know full crack? What that means? Full crack? Oh, pagal. Thakurji, pagal. You want fish? I said, "I'm not going to get fish for you." So he tied his own Thakurji to a rope. He tied Thakurji in the Ganga. You want fish? You catch him. And he had rope. I don't know how long he kept Thakurji down there, but you want to catch fish? You get them yourself. So in this way, of course, Thakurji, this is a loving relation between the Lord and the devotee. But he exemplified this mood of Nam Seva. Always chanting the Nam. And he would say this is the safest place in the material world. Now he was always chanting Gauranga, Gauranga, Gauranga. And glorify the Panchatattva. Glorify Gauranga this way. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. He would chant this all the time. Jai Sachinandana, Jai Sachinandana, Jai Sachinandana, Gaura Hare. he would worship Gauranga because this is the Yuga avatar in the age of Kali. He said, Krishna wants justice. Krishna is a tough incarnation to worship. He wants justice. Sarva dharma parityajya mami kamcharanambrata aham tvam sarva papebhyo mukshayashami mashichaha. Surrender unto me, then I'll protect you. Krishna's tough, very tough, especially for those of us in Kali Yuga. We got to surrender first. But Gaur Nitai, because we're approaching Gora through Nitai. That's why he would always glorify Nitai, Nitai, Nitai. So Nitai, he gives the bliss. He gives you the bliss first. Krishna, you got to surrender first, then you get Ananda. No. Nitai gives you the bliss right out. Right out. Like, look at these young boys just jumping in kirtan. Haribo, Haribo. Maybe they were bank managers, or who knows? College students. Who knows? Maybe mafia. I don't know. I mean, Thakurji threw us when I was in New Zealand. I made one boy who was with the biggest mafia in New Zealand, dealing bad drugs and things. Anyways, he came to my door. He's saying to me, he got a Bhagavad Gita. I want to become a sannyasi. So anyways, we trained him how. And he's not sannyasi, but very good devotee taking care of Gomata in New Zealand. So in this way, the point being is that the mood of Jagannatha Das Babaji was actually always to think of how to serve the Lord. And he was always thinking, yes, better to worship Gauranga in this age. Because if you worship the Yuga avatar of the age, that is how you can get the mercy. So Nitai gives the bliss. And then by serving Nitai, who gives Ananda, then Mahaprabhu comes along, he gives intelligence. The bliss, then intelligence. And Krishna says, okay, dadami buddhi yogam tam. To those who constantly serve me love, dadami, constantly serving. Surrender first. But you see, Nityananda hides the bliss. Then, yes, the seva comes, and then Mahaprabhu will give intelligence and surrender. So he emphasized worship the Yuga avatar. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In this way, he always emphasized that point. We all know the safest place in the world is in the middle of a big kirtan. Sam kirtan. Sam means together, and kirtan means to glorify. So in this way, we can relish about Jagannatha Das Babaji, food for worship of the Nam, his service in kirtan, and his mystic activities. Now, today also is Rasikananda Das Babaji, very also considered one of the greatest Rasika personalities within our within the Sampradaya itself. These persons are so devoted towards actually focusing in service of the Lord. He was like a son of a king, wasn't he? He was a son of a king. And he was very, very intellectual boy. He was always like understanding how the principle of service, how the Lord manifests in the heart of his devotee. He realized this principle along with Jagannatha Das Babaji. Sadhava hridayam mayam, sadhanam hridayam toham. How the Supreme Lord is in the heart of his devotee. And the devotee is in the heart of the Lord. Sadhava hridayam mayam, sadhanam hridayam toham. The special relationship. So, Rasikananda, he would perform great tapasya. And he was actually, his guru was known as Shamananda. And he was performing great levels of deity. He loved deity worship. Very pukka deity worship. He became very famous for that. And his guru, Shamananda, instructed him that now you go and preach achar and prachar. You see, you can hear so much philosophy, but if you don't communicate it, if you don't share it, then it'll only stay in the head. Like I said, Prabhupada made that one point. Giving Bhagavatam Katha is 11 times more purifying than to hear. Of course, yes, you have to hear first. So this prachar, this preaching work, is essential for distribution of transcendental knowledge, and the highest perfection of doing that in the present age is the Brihat Mridanga, the transcendental book distribution. Finding the ways and means to present a book in the hand of another, and in this way present the knowledge. So yes, Rasikananda, he would travel for around 40 years. Now, because of his devotion to preaching, I mean, you've heard so many stories about the Sankirtan devotees. Mystic protection. It's so true. Rakhe Krishna, Mare Krishna, Rakhe. If Krishna wants to kill you, no one can save you. If Krishna wants to save you, no one can harm you. So when there's obstacles in the preaching, it's like devotees relish it because we're taking shelter of Bhagavan. We're taking shelter of our Lord, Guru, and Gauranga. So in this way, Rasikananda, he had a mystic relationship because of his prachar, his relationship with his Guru. He was given such empowerment. So one time, he was by a herd of angry Hastini elephants. You know how big an elephant is. Very strong, powerful. And they began to go right through him. They were stampeding. But what did he do? What did he say? Help? No. What did he do? Try and run? No. He simply chanted, Gauranga, calmly. Gauranga, Gauranga, Krishna, Krishna. And he took some honey and began to sprinkle it on the elephants. The elephants stopped. And they put their trunks in the air. And they bowed and they paid their obeisances. Dandavati Prabhu. Dandavat. We offer our respectful obeisances unto you. And that's not all. They chanted, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Hare Hare. Now, what pastime does this remind you of? Any pastime come to mind of a similar event? Mahaprabhu, Forest of Jagannatha, dancing, and the different lions and deer chanting and kissing. When's a lion kiss a deer? No. But this is the power of the Nam. And Rasikananda, because he had this vision of taking shelter of the Nam, Mahatmanas Tumam Partha, diving Prakriti Ashritaha, Vajanti Nanamanaso, Gyatva Avayam, that my devotees are under the protection, diving Prakriti, of the transcendental nature, and they know me as the Supreme Personality of God who is original and inexhaustible. This is the power of the Nam. This is the power of tapasya in relationship to the Nam. This is a power on this day to remember the great Mahajans, the great devotees of the Lord, who showed by their example of how to take shelter of the holy Nam. This is the power of devotion. Just like you may know Saran, you ever heard of Saran Kosai in the Bhaktamal? Saran Kosai was a great Brahmin, but he was born in the family of butchers because in his previous life, he saw a cow run by him, and a butcher, because he was a Brahmin, So he wanted to tell the truth. So in this way, the butcher asked him, where'd the cow go? And he didn't say anything, but he used his eyes. So he made a great offense. Because actually, in spiritual culture, for dharma, for protection, it is better to lie than to tell the truth when harm will come. So in this way, he took birth as a butcher. He wouldn't kill the cow. He would simply sell the cow. But because he was a Brahmin, he had this amazing weight. It was a shalagram. Everyone knows what shalagram shila is. He would have this shalagram, and every day he would chant different prayers in glorification. Actually, he would chant the Gita Govinda every day in his work. And now this shalagram was amazing. This shalagram, now when shalagram comes to a devotee, I was talking to this devotee. The shalagram, when shalagram comes, it's a mercy manifestation of the Lord. And so anyways, someone would come and get 1/2 pound of meat. The shalagram would turn into 1/2 pound. Or 1/4 pound. The shalagram would manifest in 1/4 pound. So he thought this is very good weight. Very good. And he would chant the Gita Govinda like this. But he wasn't doing any upacharas. He didn't really know. This is Bhagavan. But it's very good weight. 1/4 kilo, 3/4 kilo, 5 kilo. Shalagram would change. And it was like a swing he had, the weighing device. So then one sannyasi came. Hey, shalagram, aparadi, you give shalagram to me. I will worship nicely. Huh. This is a great offense. And then Sadhana Kosai, because he knew I should satisfy sadhu, he became very, forgive me. So then he gave the shalagram, and the sannyasi gave him some other weights to use. So then the sannyasi is doing so much upacharas and mantras and bhog and snan, and all the upacharas were there. And the sannyasi was pure. And Thakurji came to him in the middle of the night. I don't care about your upacharas. I don't care about your patrams and pushpams. I don't care about your bhog. Take me back to Saran Kosai, because he does Harinam Sankirtan, chanting from the Gita Govinda daily. Gita Govinda ki. Harinam Sankirtan ki. And then Thakurji, the sannyasi, you mean you're not happy with my worship? And the shalagram goes, no, I don't want these things. I want the nam. So then the sannyasi took him back. Forgive me, Saran Kosai, you take Thakurji like this. So this is, we see how Thakurji has a unique relationship with each one of his devotees. Isn't it Karma Bai in Jagannath Puri, an old woman? And she would not bath, and she would cook for her Jagannath deity. She would cook for Jagannath, not taking bath, nothing. She would brush her teeth with like a neem, twig, and then start cooking. What kind of standard is this? Every day she'd make khichdi for Lord Jagannath. So then one panda came from one of Jagannath's pandas. Oh, what's that? Aparad! You are Asuchi. How can you cook for Bhagavan? This is great aparad, great offense. You should first take your bath, then you cook for Thakurji. And she's simple devotee. Said, oh, tik, But she's old lady, washing like this and soap and taking long time. So then her offering is late every single day. Every single day. And then, because she had her Jagannath deity, but who came? Who ate? Who honored the bhog? Jagannath, from the big deity, right from the temple. Every day he would come. And she began to cook late. So one time, he had to wait, and he had to wait, and he had to wait. And the same time, in the big temple, the offering is going on. And so what happened? They cooked everything in the big temple, but Jagannath is not there. Jagannath, kaha. Jagannath, kaha. Here's the bog. The Pujaris are going, what's going on? What's happening? Jagannath out. And he's sitting at Karma Bai, kind of, like, like this waiting for her to clean, then she can, then he take the boga. But then the bell's ringing. And so she finally offered the boga, and he has his hand like this. And then the bell begins to ring in the temple. Oh, no! And he had to go. So then he came. And then Pujari. First, Jagannath was not there. Then he looked, there's Jagannath. But look, there's all kinds of kitri all over his hand and his mouth. Jagannath has big eyes, too. So the Pujari going, what is this? Who served Jagannath Ji out last? Who didn't clean Jagannath's hands? Of course, you do the same. But never did he see kitchery on the hands of Thakurji. See, Jagannath was late. And he had some, because he was eating so quickly, even he had some mess, some spots on his outfit. It's like, So Pujari's going, what's going on? Then the Pujari, the Panda, who corrected Karma Bai, said, oh, is it possible that Jagannath went to Karma Bai? So then Thakurji came in a dream to this Panda. Hey, Baba, Jakareo. What are you doing? You have ruined my meal. You told her to take bath first. You go and tell her to reverse her seva to me. So then he told Maharaji, forgive me. Jagannath is angry at me. So you simply return. Don't worry about bath. You just do your offering to Thakurji, and then you do. So this is a wonder that we can see in the devotional relationship with the Lord. So in Jagannath Das Babaji, and we see Rasikananda Pandit, they had such an amazing relationship with Thakurji, not ordinary. And if you follow this process, what I said, it's okay to be mad within, make sense without. Stick with this process, and Thakurji will reveal a relationship with you. That's why we honor each devotee. Even though some devotee may be externally pagal, looking crazy, but we offer respects to all the Vaishnavas. We cannot understand the relationship that Thakurji has with each devotee. So in this way, on this wonderful day, let us remember the great devotees in relationship to the Lord and pray that we may get a glimpse of their realization. The Lord will allow us to get some taste in that relation. And what is Krishna consciousness? What are the benefits of Krishna consciousness? Out of this world. And as I said earlier, you'll bring others with you, taking others from this material field to Golok Dham. Hare Krishna. I will stop there. And does anybody have any questions? Comments? Okay. Yes.
One point about Rasikanand Prabhu. He had this rule or maybe idea that if we serve devotees, then the Lord is served along with the devotee, just like the pregnant lady. So if she eats, then she is also nourished, and the boy inside her stomach is also nourished. So in the same way, the Lord resides in the heart of devotees, just like pregnant lady keeps the child in her womb.
Wow.
So in the same way, when we serve the devotees, then devotees also served and Lord is also served. So he used to serve devotees.
Wow. And I forgot to say, actually, is that Shor Kishore, that deity, there was a big kirtan. He was leading the kirtan. This is when he left this world. Big kirtan. And then he went into the deity form. He disappeared. And all the disciples with mridangas and cartels, they dropped everything on the ground. Rasika, Rasika. So, yes. Raymond, yes. So, wow. This is it's a very wonderful day to get their mercy. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
श्रील रसिकानंद प्रभु तेरो भाव तिथि महामहोत्सव की, श्री जगन्नाथ दास बाबा जी तेरो भाव तिथि महामहोत्सव की, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की। तो अभी सब लोग आ जाएं जगन्नाथ दास बाबा जी के पास में और हम लोग पुष्पांजलि करेंगे।